7th grade. Today we're going to continue with Unit 6. We're going to study lesson number 9, reflexive and intensive pronouns. We're going to use as a reference pages 306 to 308 of your English book. Let us begin. Reflexive or intensive pronouns are pronouns that end in self or self, and they can be either intensive or reflexive. We're going to go through a couple of rules when we're using them. The first one is that a reflexive pronoun refers to another word in the sentence, and it cannot be omitted without changing the meaning of the sentence. This is a very good tip to identify a reflexive pronoun. If you omit the reflexive pronoun in the sentence, you're going to change the meaning of the sentence. For example, the coach congratulated himself. The coach congratulated. If you take away the reflexive pronoun himself, you're going to change the meaning of the sentence. Let's keep going. The second one is an intensive pronoun is used with a noun or pronoun to emphasize or intensify it. It can be omitted without changing the meaning of the sentence. In the case of the intensive pronoun, it's the other way around. You can omit the intensive pronoun without changing the meaning of the sentence. Examples. He himself had trained these fine athletes. He had trained these fine athletes. The meaning not changed. If I take away the word himself, we are not changing the meaning of the sentence. So, intensive or reflexive pronouns are the same pronouns. You are going to identify if they're reflexive or intensive depending on the context of the sentence. For example, in the case of reflexive pronoun, if you take away the reflexive pronoun and the meaning of the sentence changes, the pronoun is reflexive. If you take away the pronoun and the meaning of the sentence doesn't change, then it's an intensive pronoun. The third one is both reflexive and intensive pronouns must agree. Again, they must agree with their antecedents in person, number, and gender. The same thing, again, they must agree in person, number, and gender. For example, for years the athletes had prepared themselves. Athletes, plural, themselves, plural. They must agree in number, okay? And in person as well, and in gender. Christy had won 2 bronze medals herself. Herself. Why herself? Because Christy is female. Okay? Christy is singular. And Christy is she. So that's third person. So again, they must agree in person, number, and gender. This is the list of intensive pronouns. First person, second person, third person, singular, and then first person plural, second person plural, and third person plural. This is for both intensive and reflexive pronouns, okay? Number 4, be careful not to use himself, ourselves, or theirselves. They don't exist. The word himself, ourself, or theirselves doesn't exist. That is incorrect. And number 5, also be careful not to use a reflexive or intensive pronoun in place of a personal pronoun. Rudy and I wore Olympic jackets, not Rudy and me and myself wore Olympic jackets. You need to be careful with this, very, very careful with this. Do not use a personal pronoun instead of a reflexive or intensive pronoun. Again, you, Rudy and I, not Rudy and myself. Let's go to the try it out. Jason reminded himself or himself. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Correct. Himself. Why? Because the word himself doesn't exist. The second, late Frieda and I, and late Frieda and myself joined Jason in the den. Late Frieda and I. Remember not to use an intensive or reflexive pronoun instead of a personal pronoun. So it's Frieda and I. During a break, we made ourselves or us a snack. Correct, ourselves. Well done, ourselves. Well done, guys. I hope you have a very nice day. See you next time. Bye, guys. If you have any questions, please use Google Classroom.